Welcome to Random Movie Recap. Today I'm going to explain a 2016 South Korean zombie movie called Train to Busan. The zombie subgenre emerged in 1968, as we've known. However, Train to Busan proves that zombie films can still feel fresh and energetic over 50 years later. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. At the start of the film, we see, when a truck approaches a quarantine zone, staff rapidly disinfect the vehicle. When the driver inquires about the situation, one of them responds that there was a tiny leak in the biotech district, but that there should be no major issues. The driver continues, and despite the fact that he is driving, clashes with something on the road while trying to answer his ringing phone. He exits the truck noticing that it is a doe, but after double checking that his car is free of bumps, he leaves it on the road. The animal comes back to life and turns to reveal that it is infected. Meanwhile, Sok-woo is at work, on the phone with a client, discussing the sale of certain stocks. He reads reports on the mysterious deaths of fish in a lake on a news site. When his assistant arrives, Sok-woo advises him to sell all of the company's stock. Sok-woo is a hardworking fund manager who doesn't have much time for his daughter Swan. Later, he parks his car and argues with his ex-wife on the phone about Suwon, their daughter. He also divorced his wife. When he gets home, his mother greets him and opens the door for him. When he walks into the girl's room, he finds her on the phone with her mother, telling her that she can travel the train alone. She hears him and puts the phone down. Sok-woo sits next to Suwon and offers to take her to Busan if she waits a week once he has less work. He gives her the gift before her birthday. When she opens it, she discovers that he bought the same birthday present as the year before. He asks as to what else she wishes, and she says that she wishes to see her mom. Suwon says she'll go by herself to not wasting his time. Sok-woo and his mother are discussing about the girl. When he does go to Busan, she advises him to have a heart-to-heart with his wife. He tells her that it's a critical time for him at work, but his mother reminds him that it's also a critical time in Swan's life too, and she hands him a camera with a recording of the girl's recital that he missed. When Sok-woo views the video and realizes how badly she is hurting, he decides to take her to Busan. He's in the car with Swan, trying to make a life lesson out of the recital, when he nearly strikes an ambulance on the road. They come to a halt and watch an entire cordon pass by. The girl suddenly detects soot raining from the sky, and a distant fire can be seen in the car's reflection. The train to Busan is about to depart from the station. The conductor enters his cabin, and the staff begin to prepare. A baseball coach urges his players to sit down, but one of their cheerleaders walks in and cheers. Just as Sok-woo and his daughter board the train, Gil offers Jong-gil a boiled egg. He contacts his office and informs them that he will return before lunch. A hurt girl runs into the train before the train leaves. Swan observes a man attack a station worker as it exits. We see a bite mark on the leg of the girl who boarded the train. Yeon-suk informs one of the attendants that a strange man has hopped the train and is currently in the restroom. Swan is intrigued and goes to investigate. The man keeps claiming that everyone is dead, but the attendant doesn't get it and attempts to persuade him to get out of the bathroom. The bitten girl faints while walking through the train, but no one seems to notice. Swan needs to use the restroom, but she runs into Sang-hwa, who is guarding the door for his wife and advises her to use the next car's restroom. When the female attendant notices the bitten girl convulsing, she calls for medical help right away. Sok-woo is awoken by his phone when he notices that Suwon is missing. His assistant informs him that something is going on across the country. He hangs up the phone and goes in search of the girl. The occupants in the car are watching the carnage unfold on the television. The bitten girl rises up, totally transformed into a zombie, as the attendant continues to call her chief. When she doesn't respond, her chief rushes toward the car, and Swan enters a toilet. As they move into a car, the girl is on the attendant's back, biting her and frightening the others. The baseball team is attacked next, followed by the attendants. Everything goes horribly wrong. The next car's passengers are told to run by the chief attendant. Meanwhile, Sok-woo searches for his daughter, but before he can locate her, he discovers something unusual happening in the other car. Swan can hear the screaming as well. People rush by them both, and the father stands there watching. When the chief is attacked by the zombie attendant, he swiftly turns around. Swan appears behind her father, who takes her and flees as they are pursued by a swarm of zombies all over the train. When Sang-hwa senses something, he advises his pregnant wife Sung-kyung to hurry. A zombie bites a woman in front of them, and Sung-kyung, at Sung's request, Kyung rushes to aid, but is attacked. Sang-hwa locks the zombie in the restroom while Sok-woo runs into the next car. He instructs his wife to flee, but the other zombies arrive shortly after. The remainder of the group is still watching it on TV while folks from the other cars rush inside. Sok-woo takes the door and shuts it in front of Sung Kyung's face. Sang-hwa defeats a zombie and the two enter the car, closing the door before the creatures can enter. Sok-woo realizes that the zombies are unable to open the door and instructs the man to close it. Sung Kyung also realizes that they attacked when they spotted them, so he covers the door and efficiently pacifies the zombies. When the conductor announces that they will not be stopping in the next town, So Yeon-suk talks to him on an intercom, asking him if he even knows what's happening in the train. He says that the order came from the control center. Sok-woo receives a call from his mother, who is concerned about their safety. She advises him to look after his daughter. While on the phone with him, the woman turns. Sok-woo notices what has occurred but does not inform Swan. People from the station they're passing begin to knock on the windows, begging for help, as zombies assault and eat them. A government official issues a public message informing citizens that violent riots have erupted in several major cities, resulting in several deaths. Many large districts have been shut down by the government. On the train, passengers look at social media and see videos of people being attacked. The statement continues to alert individuals of the declaration of a state of emergency. The official advises individuals not to believe bogus news and to remain calm and at home. As cities burn, he reassures the populace that their safety is not jeopardized. The train passengers have blocked the door and are moving in the opposite way. Swan informs her father that her mother's phone isn't functioning, and he sits her down while attempting to contact her. As a result of In-gil forcing Jong-gil to take the seat next to them, the girl gives In-gil her own seat. Sang-hwa notices the father and child approaching and is still enraged that he had earlier locked the doors in their faces. Sok-woo chastises the girl for being selfless, telling her that in cases like this, she must take care of herself first. The conductor then informs them that they will be stopping at a station where the military has been stationed to secure their train. Yeon-suk is on the phone asking which cities can be accessed, and it appears that the one they will be stopping in isn't on the list. He tells his daughter to stay still while he goes to the other car to phone someone. Sang-hwa inquires about the girl's father, and she informs him that he is a financial manager. He deduces that this means he is a bloodsucker. The child agrees, and his wife attempts to cheer her up by giving her candy. She then instructs her to greet her baby and stroke her belly. Swan feels the jolt. Sok-woo contacts a potential client for assistance. He inquires about the city they will visit, and the man informs Sok-woo that they will be confined once they reach. When Sok-woo informs him that his daughter is with him and that if he helps him, he will be grateful. The man advises them to go to the East Square rather than the main area. He'll inform his men. The homeless man in the car is noticed by Sok-woo. The train arrives in the city where the military is supposed to be, but no one is there. Yeon-suk is the first to shove his way out, followed by Sok-woo and his daughter. With baseball bats in hand, the remaining members of the baseball team exit the train. When Yeon-suk meets them and tells them that Busan is one of the only cities remaining available, one of the attendants takes the conductor to see the zombie car. He instructs the conductor to decouple the zombie car, but this is impossible. The conductor agrees that they should go straight to Busan, but first wants to return the passengers to the train. In the meantime, travelers are entering a vacant station. Sok-woo and Swan enter a restricted area in order to reach the East Square. Because he heard his call and wants to join them, the homeless man follows them. Swan is disappointed because her father refuses to let her tell the others. A man comes at the end of the corridor where Sok-woo and Swan are standing, and the homeless man chases him down. Sok-woo tells Swan to keep put while pursuing them. The military is entirely transformed into zombies when the passengers arrive at the bottom of the escalator. The passengers are attacked by the horde. Sang-hwa notices it in time and gathers his wife on the stairwell so they may flee. When Sok customer Woo's calls to report he can't reach his men, a zombie appears, emerges in the corridor behind the officer and strikes him. As additional zombies approach and eat the police, the homeless man falls. Sok-woo returns to Swan, who is about to be eaten, but is saved by Sang-hwa. Sung Kyung captures her and the two of them flee together. The baseball team stands outside the entrance, waiting for them to come in. When Sok-woo is struggling to free himself from a zombie, the homeless man comes to his aid and runs toward the door. When Sang-hwa notices him, He unlocks the door and keeps it open for Sok-woo. They all try to lock the door by pushing it shut together. Sung-kyung is close to the train when she notices that the train horde is decimating some of the passengers. They continue to sprint down the stairwell, and passengers board the train from the opposite side. The crowd at the station bursts through the windows and aboard the train. One zombie falls over Jong-gil, but it is too shattered to reach her. The zombies pursue Sung-kyung and Swan as they take the other sister in the opposite direction. An attendant and the cheerleader save Jong-gil. They manage to board the train just in time. Before the zombies get to him, the other sister, the girl, and the pregnant woman get into another car and let the homeless man inside. Because the train is surrounded by zombies, Yeon-suk informs the attendant that they must leave if they are to survive. They can't because the cheerleader's friends are still out there, but the attendant phones the conductor and orders him to go. In the meantime, Sang-hwa closes the door. As the guys flee, the throng breaks through the glass. They notice that the train is moving in a hurry, but when they reach the bottom of the steps, the train has stopped. The zombies eliminate 2 of the baseball players. When the final one freezes, Sok-woo quickly gets him up and running, then inside the train. Sang-hwa trails behind, and Sok-woo extends his hand to him, but the man grabs a baton instead of incoming zombies, and shielded him. He ultimately enters the train as well. Meanwhile, the conductor dials the control center and inquires about a possible route to Busan. He is encouraged to stay there, but he requests to be notified when communication with the station has been made. Between 2 zombie cars, Sung-kyung and the others are trapped. When she notices an open toilet, she invites the others to use it. Everyone enters, and as soon as Sung-kyung enters, a zombie assaults her. When the other zombies arrive, they barely hold off the door. Some individuals are covering the glass doors on the other side of the train when the conductor announces that they will be heading directly to Busan. The last baseball player calls the cheerleader and apologizes for the fact that no one else survived. Simultaneously, Sok-woo is attempting to contact his daughter when he overhears Sang-hwa on his phone. She informs him that they are stuck in car 13's toilet. The baseball player informs them that the rest of the passengers are in car 15. The men are getting ready to save the others. Sang-hwa plots their strategy, putting himself in the lead, the guy in the middle, and the girl in the middle. In the back, there's Sok-woo. They'll wait till they've passed through the tunnel. The zombies see them right away and the 3 of them fight. Sang-hwa starts slaying zombies with his bare hands, with Sok-woo on his flank assisting him. They fight as an unstoppable team, with the boy using his bat as a weapon. The following car is packed with zombie baseball players and the youngster goes completely still. Sang-hwa pulls him aside and goes on the attack against the undead. Sok-woo locates one of their bats and attempts to repel them. The 2 of them are stuck in a deadlock with the baseball zombies, and the boy is helpless. The zombies start acting weirdly once they travel through another tunnel. Sok-woo uses the bat to generate a noise that the zombies follow, allowing them to flee. The train goes through the tunnel just as they pass through the doors, and the zombies attack once more. When the train passes through a tunnel, Sok-woo has the brilliant idea of using their phones as decoys. When the zombies can't see them, they enter the car in the dark, and Sok-woo tosses them out. Sang-hwa's was in the car's trunk. When he names it, the zombies flock to it, and they are able to flee without fighting. They get at the restroom, and everyone is relieved to see each other. When they pass through the tunnel, the baseball player finds another toilet and gets the others inside. Sok-woo has calculated how long it will take them to reach the next tunnel and texts his girl in car 15. The cheerleader is relieved that he will make it to their car alive, and she shares her joy with the others. Yeon-suk is understandably annoyed by their arrival, as they may be diseased. The majority of people appear to agree with him. She asks the attendant to help her explain things to the others, but he also agrees with Yeon-suk. Everyone exits the restrooms once the train enters a tunnel, but now they must figure out a way to get past the undead. The luggage racks are crawled through by everyone. The zombies' attention is diverted by Sok-woo, and they climb into the car. Then get into the next vehicle. When the homeless man collapses, Sok-woo rushes over to assist him. When the train passes through the tunnel, they are both trapped in a car. The homeless man steps on a Coke can and attracts the zombies, so Sok-woo counts down till they run. They go through the door, but Sang-hwa had to hold it open because a zombie gets stuck inside. Because the other car's door is locked, the baseball player contacts his girl in the other car. Car 15's passengers had sealed the door from their side, preventing the girl from informing them. As the boy tries to destroy the other door, Sok-woo runs over to assist Sang-hwa. Sang-hwa is suddenly bitten by a zombie. They ultimately smash the other car's door open, and the baseball player tries to get inside, but Yeon-suk holds the door shut. While the other guys attempt to assist him, Jong-gil and the cheerleader battle from within. Sung-kyung starts walking towards her spouse, but he urges her to keep her distance, then tells her to leave. Because he's exhausted, Sok-woo will take her and leave. Sang-hwa urges him to look after her, and Sok-woo apologizes. The door suddenly comes apart, forcing the two to flee. Sang-hwa does not give up easily and holds the undead at bay. The others enter through the front door. Sok-woo snatches his daughter and Sung-kyung, but does not arrive in time to see Yeon-gil. He shuts the door behind him and strikes Yeon-suk, calling him a scumbag. Yeon-suk informs the attendant that Sok-woo is infected, and the attendant directs them to the vestibule. All of the passengers in car 15 tell them to exit. First up is the homeless man. The cheerleader refuses to stay with them and instead joins the baseball player. Sung-kyung advises Swan that they should travel as well, and Sok-woo agrees. The others shut the vestibule door behind them. Jong-gil notices her undead sister on the other side of the door and rushes through it before anyone can intervene. The occupants in car 15 are ambushed by zombies. Meanwhile, the conductor dials into the station to inquire on the situation in Busan. He receives no response, but notices fires raging around the city. Sok-woo finally has a conversation with his daughter. He promises to take her to her mother's birthday party. Later, Sok-woo receives a call from his assistant, who informs him that of all the cities, Busan has the best defense. He also informs him that the infection began in one of their businesses. Because to the blockage, the train abruptly stops. The conductor announces that he will arrange another train to transport the remaining passengers to Busan. The zombie onslaught did not kill Yeon-suk or the attendant. The conductor inspects the first train he sees, but because it is packed with zombies, he moves on to another. Sok-woo informs the others that they must leave immediately and find a route to Busan. Meanwhile, the conductor continues his search for a new train. He moves an empty one he discovers. Yeon-suk and the attendant had become trapped in the restroom. To get away, he orders the attendant to go first and pushes him into the undead. Meanwhile, a burning car hurls itself into the trains, separating the survivors. While attempting to bust down the train door, the baseball player is interrupted by Yeon-suk, who sacrifices the girl and leaves the baseball man to fight the zombie. He gets away, and the boy defeats the zombie. The girl begins to twist in his arms before biting him. Swan awakens Sok-woo in the meantime. Sung-kyung and the homeless man are both trapped beneath a zombie car. Yeon-suk dashes for the train, and when the conductor tries to assist him, he too is left behind. The railway car continues to collapse, but Sok-woo manages to escape. The distance closes as he turns to draw the others out. The zombies smash the train car windows, and the homeless man tries to stop them from reaching the girls. Sok-woo closes the gap once more, and the two of them exit, leaving the man behind. Sung-kyung, Sok-woo, and the kid flee the horde in pursuit of the speeding train car. The station's zombies rush toward the car, piled on top of one another. They all board the train, but the zombies do as well. They're clinging to it, and Sok-woo attempts to free them, eventually succeeding. They hunt for the conductor but instead find a half-turned Yeon-suk in the cabin. He succeeds in opening the door. Sok-woo informs him that he is infected, and as the turn is through, he attacks them. Sok-woo fights him, and Sung-kyung helps him up. Yeon-suk is grabbed by the man who bites him. Sok-woo ties himself to the train and throws the man away. He realizes he's been bitten, so he takes both of them inside the cabin and informs them where the brakes must be before turning. Swan is told by Sok-woo to stay with Sung-kyung and travel to Busan, where she would be safe. She can't let him go, but before he can turn around, he extracts himself from the girl's grip and departs the cabin, leaving her wailing and screaming behind. He remembers the day Swan was born as he begins to turn into a zombie and jumps off the train car. Because there is a barrier on the rails, Sung-kyung and Swan must stop and exit the train. They keep walking through the rubble and bodies. The two walk through a dimly lit tunnel. On the other side is the military. A sniper has them in his sights, but he has no way of knowing if they're infected. When an order to kill them arrives, Swan begins singing her recital song. The soldiers receive word that survivors are on their way. The end. That's all for today. If you like this kind of content, then share, like, comment and subscribe for more content like this.